From India, we continue to Greece, which has a long tradition in winemaking. But planting a vineyard in the heart of a city is an entirely different case. The city of Thessaloniki in northern Greece has, however, transformed an old machinery warehouse into an urban vineyard, and just recently the citizens took part in the first harvest. After all, the city's mayor is a well-known wine producer as well. Sakis Ioannidis explains how this all happened.
Dionysus, the god of wine for the ancient Greeks, would probably be furious knowing that a vineyard is growing close to a busy city street. However, the municipality of Thessaloniki took the initiative and planted 4 different wine grape varieties in the heart of the city, and just a few days ago they did their first small-scale harvest. Kωνσταντίνος Ζέρvas, the vice mayor behind the project, explains how the city transformed an abandoned place to a vivid vineyard.
I think most of the people that are listening to me now probably don't know that Thessaloniki unfortunately doesn't have a lot of free spaces. So it was not an easy task to find a place to create and cultivate the grapes. For us it was really symbolic to find this place because it used to be a place that was really dirty. It was a place that all the vehicles of the municipality were gathered there. So our fear was in the very beginning that probably the soil was spoiled. It was from the oils and the gas from all this machinery. Probably was not easy to cultivate and have a production of vineyards. Finally, I think that we made it. The land on the first hand and the people on the second really hospitalized this vine. That means very soon even people that are so many years in the wine production were amazed that in the second year of cultivation we had a lot of grapes and the production of wine is possible. Usually the third year is the year of production of wine. But in very few months, like 15, 16 months from the first day that we put some small plants of grapes, we have a possibility to see the icon of a very nice, prepared and developed vineyard.
The vineyard is open for city dwellers to walk around and have a rest on cozy park benches. The spot is sunny, but the vineyard is surrounded by tall buildings and the air is polluted by car exhaust fumes. These are probably not the ideal conditions for grapes to grow, but the problems have been tackled with the valuable help of the local university farm school.
My name is Stefanos. I am Assistant Professor of Viticulture in the School of Agriculture of the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki. The whole initiative was a challenge for many reasons. Firstly, because the vine as a cultivation is a traditional cultivation of the whole Mediterranean area, and Greece is the same. But inside the environment of a city, it was never tried before. This poses some problems like disease protection, which must be very delicate depending on the proximity to the buildings, but also the land itself, the soil, the climatic conditions, the possibility to adapt different varieties to a certain environment, a different environment than the natural environment. So the whole thing had many challenges, but we decided to go for it and to try see how it goes. Normally, the depth of the soil in park areas inside cities is not so big compared, let's say, to an area traditional of cultivation of crops in a plain or a plateau where the soil is more fertile and deep. But we can overcome this, of course, by irrigating a little bit more, something that can be solved. The other thing was also the microclimate of the area. The grapes need some good air circulation and humidity which is not too high. This sometimes can be a problem because this area is surrounded by tall buildings and sometimes this blocks, it's a barrier for the circulation of the air. But these are all challenges that we are going to face and we hope that we can solve by applying certain agricultural practices.
This year's production is more like a test for the city's vineyard. The bottling is done by Gerovasiliou Estate, a well-known winemaker in Greece. The local wine varieties of Xinomavro, Agiorgitiko, Robola and the ancient variety of Malagousia growing in the vineyard are estimated to produce 4 barrels of red and white wine from next year's harvest. The citizens are called to name the wine of their city. The first man to taste it might be Yannis Boutaris, the city's mayor and famous wine producer.
It's an open poll about the name of the wine. On the net, people can vote from about 130 different names that were proposed by the citizens, and they vote for the name of that. So by the end of September, we're going to have the name of the wine. Vangelis Gerovasiliou is going to prepare the first wine. It's about 100 bottles of wine that we're going to have. First year is not the year that we have a full production. And by May, because it's going to be a red wine and should be put in some barrels so we can have the best quality that we can have out of it. So we're going to open the first fork, and I think it's going to be a big day for the municipality. I hope that our mayor, who is also a very well-known wine producer for 3 generations now, with his children, it's the 4th generation in the wine business. It's going to be a big event.
Schools, students and visitors are more than welcome in the urban vineyard. And overall, it's a fine way to improve the city's landscape. As I leave the vineyard, I'm thinking that Dionysus would eventually feel fine to taste the new city wine. I know I will. Cheers! For Monocle in Thessaloniki, I'm Sakis Ioannidis.